Rome loved two things above all else: power and spectacle. But hidden behind the roar of the crowds and the shine of the arena, there were stories the empire tried to erase. Stories of men who refused to bow even when the emperor himself demanded it. Today we uncover one of those forbidden legends, the story of a gladiator who became so feared, so admired, and so powerful that Rome had only two choices: honor him or kill him. His name was Aurelius Cassian.
Not a slave, not a criminal, but a Roman soldier decorated for bravery on the battlefield. Yet one single act of defiance changed everything. During a brutal campaign in Dacia, Cassian's corrupt commander ordered the massacre of innocent civilians. Cassian refused. He lowered his sword and stood against his own legion. For that act of mercy, he was branded a traitor. Instead of a swift execution, he was given a fate far worse: the arena. Unlike most gladiators who were prisoners of war or common criminals, Cassian arrived already trained, disciplined, and filled with a cold, controlled fury. The Ludus master, Gaius Silanus, expected him to break under the harsh regimen. Instead, Cassian trained harder than the veterans, mastering every weapon placed in his hands. The gladius, the trident, the scissor blade, even the tangled net of the retiarius. His skill grew with each sunrise, and every night, before sleep claimed him, he whispered the same words, a promise to himself: "I fight to live." Cassian's debut was supposed to be a morbid spectacle, designed for maximum bloodshed. A lone man versus three seasoned gladiators. The crowd expected a slaughter. Instead, they witnessed a miracle. Cassian, moved with the lethal precision of a soldier and the raw fury of a betrayed man. His shield shattered after the first heavy strike, but he used the broken edge as a vicious blade. He turned a fallen spear into a trap, tripping one opponent into the path of another. He disarmed his last opponent with a brutal, elegant efficiency that left the crowd breathless. When the dust finally settled, Cassian stood alone, breathing heavily, victorious, and Rome erupted. A star was born that day, forged in blood and sand. But fame in Rome is a dangerous thing, because with fame comes envy. And no one envied Cassian more than Barak the Carthaginian, a monstrous, undefeated gladiator who had dominated the arena for 10 long years. Barak, known as the Beast of Carthage, publicly demanded a duel. But the Lanista refused. Cassian was too new, too valuable, a rising star who was bringing in fortunes. He was too unpredictable to risk against a veteran killer like Barak. This refusal, meant to protect Cassian, only made Barak. He swore publicly, in the taverns and bathhouses of Rome, that he would rip Cassian's head from his shoulders. Their rivalry became the talk of the city, a story whispered from the Senate to the slums, and the emperor himself took notice. Emperor Gallus, a man who craved distractions to calm the restless and hungry people of Rome, saw an opportunity. He ordered a grand spectacle, a festival of blood, fire, and exotic beasts. And at the very center of it all, the one fight that all of Rome was demanding, Cassian versus Barak. When the emperor's decree reached the ludus, a heavy silence fell. Not even the hardened veterans wanted to face Barak in a fight to the death. But Cassian, when told the news, simply nodded. His resolve was unshaken. "I don't fight for them," he said quietly, gesturing toward the city. "I fight for my freedom." The day of the fight arrived, and the Colosseum was packed to the rafters. Tens of thousands of spectators roared the names of their chosen champion, the air thick with anticipation. Barak entered first, a mountain of a man, covered in scars, wielding a war hammer so heavy it took 2 men to carry it into the arena. Then came Cassian, with nothing but a simple gladius and shield. A soldier's tool. The crowd could feel the tension crackle in the air. This wasn't a show. This was war. Barak attacked like a storm, each swing of his massive hammer shaking the very ground. But Cassian was like water. He dodged, he rolled, he parried, using his smaller size and superior speed to his advantage, constantly searching for an opening. Minutes felt like hours. Sweat, blood, and sand mixed in the afternoon sun. Then, Barak, frustrated, swung wide, a desperate, powerful blow meant to end it. It was the mistake Cassian had been waiting for. He slipped inside the giant's guard and slammed the full force of his shield into Barak's throat. The giant staggered, gasped, and fell to one knee. Cassian pressed the sharp tip of his blade to his rival's neck. The entire Colosseum fell silent, waiting for the final killing blow. And then, the arena erupted. Cassian had won. But he did something no one, not even Barak, expected. He lowered his sword. He spared his rival's life. It was a gesture of honor that stunned Rome and infuriated the emperor. Emperor Gallus saw Cassian's mercy not as honor, but as rebellion. In the arena, the emperor's thumb, up or down, was absolute law. By sparing Barak, Cassian had defied him in front of all of Rome. Enraged, Gallus ordered a secret execution. Cassian was to die in his cell that very night, quietly and without witness. But when the Praetorian Guard arrived at the ludus, they found their path blocked. Barak, the very man Cassian had spared, stood at the gates, his massive frame an immovable wall. "Kill him!" Barak's voice boomed through the night. "And the people will turn on you." The emperor was forced to reconsider. Cassian was no longer just a gladiator. He had become a symbol of defiance, of honor, of a power that Rome could not control. Aurelius Cassian never fought in the arena again. One dawn, he simply vanished from the ludus. His fate became a legend, whispered in the shadows. Some say he escaped with Barak's help and returned to the army under a false name, fighting for Rome on his own terms. Others claim he led a rebellion of gladiators that was violently crushed and erased from history. And some believe he was finally killed in secret, buried in an unmarked grave, forgotten by time. But one thing is certain, for a brief, shining moment, one man, trained as a soldier, forged as a gladiator, and crowned a hero by the people, challenged the most powerful empire in the world, and won. His story was a reminder that even in the face of absolute power, the will of a single person can change everything. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more forgotten legends.